Close your eyes. Now open them. What do you see? A world of colors and shapes. But it's all in your head. Your brain is the magician, creating your reality. You're not seeing these words, your eyes detect photons. Photons trigger reactions, sending signals to your brain. Your brain constructs the image you perceive. It does this with every sense, creating your experience. Imagine you're at a bustling city intersection. Cars honking, people chatting, neon signs flashing. It's a sensory overload. Yet somehow, you manage to focus on crossing the street safely. How? Enter Hermann von Helmholtz, a 19th century physicist and physician.
Our brains act like sophisticated filters. At any given moment, we're bombarded with an overwhelming amount of sensory information. If we tried to process it all consciously, we'd be paralyzed. So our brains have evolved to filter out the unnecessary stuff and focus on what's important.
This filtering process happens unconsciously and lightning fast. Your brain is constantly making predictions about what you're likely to see, hear, or feel based on past experiences. It then compares these predictions with the incoming sensory data. If there's a match, great. If not, it updates its model of the world. But here's the catch. This filtering process isn't perfect. Sometimes our brains can filter out important information or let through stuff that isn't actually there. This is why eyewitness testimony can be unreliable, or why we sometimes see faces in clouds or hear hidden messages in songs played backward. Our brains are so good at finding patterns and making sense of the world that they sometimes see patterns where none exist. Understanding this can help us navigate the world more effectively. Now that we've seen how our brains filter information, let's dive into how they construct our reality. For this, we turn to Daniel Kahneman, a psychologist who won a Nobel Prize for his work on decision-making and judgment.
Our brains don't just passively receive information. They actively construct our experience of reality. I describe two systems in our brain, System 1 and System 2. System 1 is fast, intuitive, and automatic. It's what allows you to catch a ball without thinking about the complex calculations involved in predicting its trajectory. System 2 is slower, more deliberate, and requires conscious effort. It's what you use when you're solving a math problem or planning a trip.
Most of the time, we rely on System 1 to navigate the world. It's efficient and usually gets the job done, but it's also prone to biases and errors. For example, System 1 is terrible at statistics. It tends to jump to conclusions based on limited information and ignore important details that don't fit its narrative. System 2, on the other hand, can catch these errors, but only if we engage it. And here's the rub: engaging System 2 takes effort, and our brains are lazy. Understanding this dual system model can help us make better decisions and understand why we sometimes perceive things inaccurately.
The Muller-Lyer illusion and Gestalt psychology. Let's have some fun with our brains, shall we? Take a look at this image of the Muller-Lyer illusion. You see two lines, one with arrow-like fins pointing inward, the other with fins pointing outward. Which line looks longer? Measure them. They're exactly the same length. This illusion shows how our brains can construct a reality that doesn't match the physical world.
Gestalt psychology explores how our brains organize visual information. Our brains interpret the lines as three-dimensional objects.
This illusion doesn't work on everyone. People from non-carpentered environments are less susceptible to it. Our perceptions are shaped by our experiences and environment.
The great debate, idealism versus scientific realism. Is there an objective reality, or is everything just in our minds? Idealism, championed by George Berkeley, argues reality is mental. The physical world exists only in our minds. Scientific realism argues for an objective reality. Scientists believe our theories describe real entities, but even they admit our perceptions are models of reality.
Section 6. Perception's crucial role, navigating our daily lives. So we've taken quite a journey through the magical world of perception. We've seen how our brains filter information, construct our reality, and sometimes trick us with illusions. We've even dipped our toes into the philosophical debate about the nature of reality itself. But you might be wondering, why does all this matter in our everyday lives? Well, let me tell you, it matters a whole lot. Understanding how our perceptions work can help us navigate the world more effectively and make better decisions. For instance, knowing about cognitive biases can help us avoid common pitfalls in reasoning. being aware of the limitations of our perceptions can make us more open-minded and less quick to judge. Moreover, this knowledge has practical applications in fields ranging from psychology to artificial intelligence. Therapists use techniques based on cognitive psychology to help people reframe their perceptions and overcome mental health challenges. So the next time you open your eyes and look around, remember, you're not just seeing the world. You're participating in the grand illusion that is perception, the magic trick that allows us to make sense of the universe.